Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Making Something Out of Nothing class, all about recycled crafts. Don't forget to save all of your unwanted things, your little doodads, objects that you think something could be possibly upcycled or remade out of them, but not particularly trash. All right, my name is Kimberlie Wright, and I guess I just want to go into the discussion to see if anybody has any questions, or we'll just start back where we left off last week doing our watercolor cards. Anybody got any questions so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Kim, you told us that you were going to be making some things, but is there a purpose for making those balloons? Can we make other things besides balloons, or is it just getting a class today?
That was just a.
I have something.
Hold on.
I have something.
Hold on 1 second, Miss Jean. That was just Miss Vicky. That was just a demonstration as it pertains to the class. You are more than welcome to go ahead and make some balloons like I did, and you'll see what I was going for today. However, I'm looking for you to feel free to do anything you want to, because that's why I was showing you all the techniques with the salt and the sandpaper and so forth. Yes, Miss Jean?
Yes, I made a card.
Can you put it closer? Hold on, let me 1 second, love. Happy birthday to you. I love that. Okay.
Look at this one. That's another one. And this one I made with the balloons. It says, love you.
I really like that.
I sent it to my daughter, and for her birthday, she loved it.
Okay.
She said, Mommy, balloons.
I really love that. That's cute.
Thank you. I loved it.
So I like the one with the red and the abstract, the one with the inside that had the 2 balloons.
Yes, love you.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's cute. So this is just one so far. As you can see, the happy birthday is to the side. It's just a simple card. I was just showing you a technique if you wanted to use that idea. If you don't, you're more than welcome to do your own thing. Anybody else? All right. So last week, like I was saying, I did this one. And this is something I completed after class, going in the inside. Some little flowers going around. So I'll show you all how to manipulate a few things today. And if you want to probably have one more class with the cards, I'll show you some more techniques maybe next week. But however, we're going to move forward to a new idea, fresh project. So I think the first thing I want to do is I've already pre-drawn a man's face on here. And in the inside, I have a woman. However, I guess if you finish any cards next week, we'll go ahead and share those. So don't forget to always have 2 cups of water, one for your dirty water and one for the clean water. Even though I have not finished my instructional chart as it pertains to a few, it's only 8 techniques. There's so many techniques that you can use with watercolor. However, these are the only 8 that I introduced to you. I was telling somebody, drag a hair comb through the paint, a fork, you know, use a pick, use other type of little chemicals, but be careful as to what you use and see what you might possibly get. So I'm just I'm gonna finish this by adding some actual details. I just wanted to take a little bit of my tape off just to see how something looks. So far, I know what I'm gonna do. Right here in the sandpaper square where I have the orange, I'm gonna go ahead and take a really small detailed fine brush. Don't forget, young people, that I said I have this set of watercolor brushes right here. This tube fills with water, and it's not that expensive. It's just something else to use and play with. However, you can use any old little brush that you have. You don't have to get so fancy like this, but however, one part twists loose and you put the water in, and then you have the tip or the brush, and this set has 4 different tips that you can use. You just squeeze a little and water will start to sort of come out. So however, I'm going to experiment with this a little bit just to do a few birds in my orange sky. I feel a little nervous. However, I'm just going to go for it. So what I'm doing is squeezing the bottle a little bit as I get some of this black paint worked on my surface. And I should be painting with my porcelain plate to kind of smooth all the colors around, especially if I want to blend any colors. So right now I'm just going to paint a few. A second. A few of these. I need some more paint. What I'm doing is painting little M's, I would say, to make little birds in my sky. I think the sun is setting and these birds are about to, it's getting a little cold. The birds are about to go into hibernation. Sometimes if you want some birds really far away, you have to kind of make little squiggles or even dots to make some of the birds even smaller. So I just need a few more. All right, I think I'm gonna work on it later. I think I was doing it on my sandpaper screen. All right, so let's grab a few other brushes and go right into our design for our next piece. You can choose any brushes you like to try to get different outcomes. First, I'm going to use this round brush with the belly, but it has a tip. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt and just get it right on in there. All right. So for the inside, for the woman's piece, I think this is a black man and woman, and I don't know what the card is really all about as a particular, other than love. It could be an anniversary card, could be a Mother's Day card, could be a card just about family, could be a card to say thank you. So around the woman's head, I want to do a border that is African inspired. However, I still want to put a few feminine attributes in there. So I'm going to do a few flowers. And on the man's side, I'm going to do something African inspired as well. So for the female, I think I'm going to just start out by maybe getting a little purple. You need some water. And don't forget your paper towel. Let's move this out of the way. You have to keep your area really clean when you're doing watercolor, because as you can see, I'm keeping this part in my hand. As soon as you lie it down into some spilled water or some blemish that you have on the table, then you feel as though you have a mistake on it. However, there are no mistakes in art, so you just have to fix it somehow, or, you know, paint over it, you know, do your best to make it what you can. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I have some purple on my brush, and I'm just mixing it around so you can see, really mixing it around. But then I'm pushing the paint to the tip of my brush so that I can get a full paint out of what I'm painting. I'm gonna do just some dots like so. Okay, even though I have that in the corner, I'm gonna go to my other side and basically kind of do the same thing. I'm doing like a tip, kind of skinny, and then widening the ends out, but just still doing sort of like little spots. A couple more right here. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna clean that brush in the dirty water. Now the clean water. Now I'm gonna switch brushes, and I'm gonna get a little bit of clean water and go into, as you can see, I'm gonna go into my light yellow and the dark yellow just a bit. And this is like a really stiff brush. Just experimenting with it to get a different effect. As you can see, the lady's face is here. All right, so now we're gonna go into the opposite corner. So the reason why I'm doing opposites diagonal, because I wanna make it even. All right, so I'm just gonna touch that like so. Need a little bit more water. Just have fun with it. So what I'm doing is stippling the brush right now in a circular pattern. Get a little bit more water, and I'm continuously going into my light yellow, kind of like the rose, so to speak. Once again, remember when you're using a synthetic brush over a natural bristle brush, you're going to get better effects with the natural bristle brush over synthetic. However, you still want to maybe experiment with it and see what you can do. I can't hold it up really right now because I don't want it to run. This is a time where you would pretty much uh, have your blow dryer if you needed it. I'm gonna do like one more flower. So right here, I guess right above, I'm gonna complete just a swirl pattern. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put it closer in a second. I'm gonna do a swirl pattern here. And one more. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of blue. And the other side. So you just want to do a couple of shapes that you think look flowerish. And then we're going to go ahead and add our stems. Sorry, I got so quiet right there. I was like into a creative mode. All right. So go ahead and get some light greens. You want to just be very delicate and take your brush and paint like a long stem, pretty much wherever it makes sense to you. We're going to keep doing those long stems around the whole piece, the entire piece as pertains to each flower. Just take your time. Use a little bit of water. Keep your brush saturated, but not so wet as to making the paint drip. So I'm almost finished. I have 2 more stems. So I just thought about earlier that I was going to make a vow to myself that this year, for the rest of the year, I'm not going to even purchase any more greeting cards. I'm going to make all the greeting cards that I need to share and give to my friends and loved ones. And so don't forget you can do a few little leaves as well. One thing is to, don't be so hard on yourself as it pertains to imperfections, because the imperfections that you may think is like the line is too thick or something doesn't look quite right, that will make the card really unique as it pertains to being your own. And someone would know that it's like really handmade with love. So don't forget to, to add a few little leaves. So far, just gonna keep going on into her hair, which first I think I need a little brown. Anybody have any questions?
Jean has,
Go for it. Sorry.
Okay, I've been using my coloring book and cutting out some of the things that are really, really pretty, and I've been using those as covers for my cards.
Cover for your card. Okay. I know what you're saying. Maybe like you're doing the artwork in the coloring book and then cutting them out.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very creative. Don't forget, I said, although we are doing a series of cards, we just started out with our watercolor cards. However, we will be, I showed you some cards in the beginning of the class to say pretty much that, to show you other techniques that we're going to use, like paper and anything that you actually can find. Miss Vicky, were you about to say something?
I said Jean had a question. She was raising her hand.
Okay. Yeah, so silly.
Oh,
Anybody else have a question? Anybody have watercolors that you're working with?
I watercolored my flower that I made.
You have watercolors?
We had a class when we were talking about making flowers.
Uh-huh.
I made a flower, so I went back and tried some different watercolors on the flowers. See,
Okay, hold on.
hmm.
Hey, what color did you use in there? Is it
use
the
some
red
greens and yellows
or the
and
green
red.
and yellow? I see some like colors like right into the center of the stem. Looks really unique. That's really different.
So good for nothing.
That's
So,
it.
so the holidays are coming up. I don't know if some people celebrate the holidays, but why don't you start to try to make a few cards where you don't have to purchase cards either. It's not about spending the money. Of course, we know we can spend the money. It's just about doing something unique while you're sitting there and on lockdown, or being safe, spending a lot of time in our homes. Go ahead and get you some paper or use paper that you have around the house. We are doing a lot of cleaning at this time. So if you find a lot of things that you can repurpose and recycle, those are the type of things that you want to save. Paper, magazines.
You're not asking us to hoard anything, are you?
No, don't hoard
Become
anything.
hoarders.
Go ahead and that's why I said while you cleaning up, go ahead and get rid of stuff. No, don't hoard anything. Go ahead and get rid of stuff, and that way you can I'm continuing on with the piece.
Okay.
Get rid of stuff that you don't need. Make the space for your life so that you can think clearly and move forward. But however, you still want to save little things while this time that you can repurpose, recreate something, make something beautiful, share with somebody else.
Well, this class encouraged me, Kim, to set up a crafts table. At first, I had just painting and uh, other things, drawing and writing space. Now I made a little crafts table in a corner of the room. And that helped me to stay organized and focused with the individual things that I'm doing.
I was just about to comment on that because thank you so much. You are a reoccurring student in a few of my classes, but I've seen several spaces that you have, and I was going to say, really, that's true because I see you got space for everything. You got a craft table, pottery table, painting table, art room,
I like
yoga
to take two
room.
chairs and move from table to table. I took one room and just decided to divide it up, an old bedroom, and divided it up into sections, just like I'm at the center.
Uh-huh.
Now all I've got to do is figure out a way to take the system that I have here away from the library and office into that arts and crafts room. Haven't figured it out yet. Don't
Okay.
want to disrupt the office and move the computer, so I've got to jimmy rig it a little bit to wire everything through to the next room. It's taking a little while. So hopefully we won't go back to the center anytime soon. We'll stay on Zoom.
So I want you all to know too as well, we will be starting our own slideshow as it pertains to something featuring our artworks that we can have a show, or you can actually look on YouTube and view it all the time. So get any of your works together. Also, if you're making beautiful things for people that you're going to give to them as gifts, don't forget to take pictures of your work so that you can have an account or a record of some of the beautiful things that you've created. Um, so far, what I did was I did sort of like a muddled background of brown on her afro. Then I did circles all over it. So as I continue, uh, she will basically, the piece will basically, appear as it's coming out now. So I'm just gonna keep going and still finish my African border around here, but finish her skin and everything. I'll have that to share next week. We're gonna have one more class of these watercolor cards, and then we'll see what we're gonna be moving on to. Are there any more questions from anyone? Anybody have anything else they want to share? Yes, Miss Jean.
I think making these cards is really a personal expression of your caring, and they're no two alike. So it's always unique, it's different, and you can personalize it by putting the person's name on the front of the card. So I've had a good time doing that.
That's really cool. That's why I'm saying don't worry about your imperfections, because that's what will allow the person who is receiving it to know that it's handmade and it was made with love. And if you know somebody who is really alone, or at this time needs somebody to uplift them, or pick, somebody needs to be picked up, maybe possibly make a beautiful piece of artwork or a card for them, not just a greeting card, but you have to think about if you have all your greeting cards out, or how would you possibly might want your artwork that you're giving to someone to be displayed. Everybody don't keep scrapbooks, so one thing that you possibly could do is make a really small piece of artwork where they could frame it, or even you frame it and give it to them. When you frame something that you've done as a piece of artwork, people will put it up rather than trash it or put it in a box or something like that. So that way, even though some people would probably frame a really beautiful card, they probably would mean to, but you get so many cards all the time. that's just another aspect to think of while you're doing these small types of artwork. Go ahead and do just a small card, or you know, this size. If it was just the card without the opening, could be just a piece of artwork that I framed. So be creative. All right. Anybody else?
I was thinking about in terms of using some of the creations that we have in some type of journal. Sometimes you have a tendency to forget, and if you journal it with each piece of art craft or a picture, it'll bring that memory back a little bit better. Even though it's bad times, it's sort of like the soldiers in World War II. All of the letters that they sent home, someone chronicled and put them into one big Civil War or World War II historical piece. So I think I was thinking in terms of getting something and journaling it, so that it's something that somebody came and looked at 20 years from now. They said, "Oh, wow."
That'd be really good. That's just
We
like
do during the pandemic. We had arts and crafts, little things like, what you put together, something out of nothing.
it's true. So thank you all. Go ahead and please be creative and continue your small watercolor arts and works. Don't forget you can use liquid watercolor paints. You can use the dry watercolor paints from the palette. You can use watercolor pencils. Even if you don't have watercolors, use tempera or gouache, or maybe try to water down a little bit of acrylic. Just use what you have.
I
And
tried some strawberries and some of the different fruit. One time I just took the fruit because certain things are made from strawberry colors. I know it
yeah,
made raw insects, but I took some strawberries and crushed them in a little hand dish and mixed it up, and then there, lo and behold, I had some red coloring.
that's really unique because that's a lot of dyes and pigments come from the earth and different foods. They use beets for coloring and that type of thing. Miss Jean, you okay? I like your hair.
Oh, thank you. It feels like a white mop.
So sick. I think I might paint a picture, a little caricature of you like that. She's awesome. Okay. But thank you all so much. Please continue to save little odds and ends, and don't keep a lot of junk. Don't be hoarding. Go ahead and throw stuff away. Get your spaces clean so that you can actually have space to think and think clearly and create your new works. I miss you all. We will be seeing each other soon, but
Oh,
yes, in the meantime, I want you all to stay safe and just have fun and enjoy yourself. And don't forget to exercise and stay strong.
yeah.
My name is Kimberlie Wright. This is Making Something Out of Nothing. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you all next week.
Bye, Jean. Bye, Kimberly.
Bye, everybody.